We often tend to confuse the terms self-esteem and self-confidence. If these two concepts are intimately linked, they are nevertheless totally different. The feeling of confidence is correlated with the ability to believe in one's potential for success, when self-esteem is linked to the awareness of one's own worth. The latter playing a fundamental role in the development of the human being. From childhood, he uses his knowledge and experiences to build the image he will have of himself. This perception will allow him throughout his life to dictate his reactions and behaviors. For a better development of esteem, parents, the main vectors of this identity construction, should avoid saying these 5 things to their children. It is said of a child that he is a blank book. No one is born with a previously established self-esteem. Awareness of personal worth is built around the first experiences of life, and depends on several fundamental parameters, including love for parents and emotional security. From the moment the child becomes aware of his self, his esteem develops little by little, a reflection of his relations with the people around him. As you will have understood, if self-esteem fluctuates throughout life experiences, its bases are anchored in early childhood. Where does the lack of self-esteem come from? It is therefore from childhood that certain experiences can undermine a person's self-esteem. And sometimes, it is the parents, in a desire to overprotect the child, who can utter words or behave in a way that pushes the child to doubt his abilities. This break favors certain complexes which can handicap the child throughout his life. Fear of failure, of abandonment, fear of disappointing or fear of disapproval. All psychological consequences that can hinder a person's personal development. Tips to help your child have better self-esteem. The best way to help your child have good self-esteem is to finally make them feel like they are loved and appreciated for who they are. This unconditional love will allow him to become aware of his value, thus opening up the field of possibilities. It is also important to recognize his prowess with positive comments. This will allow you to showcase your success and develop your feeling of confidence. Be careful not to fall into the bidding by congratulating him for the slightest achievement. The praise would then lose all its meaning. Encourage your child, get him to know himself well and develop his strengths and preferences. This is what will allow him little by little to forge the elements that will constitute the adult he will be later. On the other hand, some devastating self-perception phrases should be banned and should never be communicated to a child. 5 phrases that can hurt a child's self-esteem. 1. You are worth nothing. These few words can be destructive for a child, especially if they are spoken by a parent figure. In the process of identity building, a child needs the approval of his parents the most. To make him understand that he has no value in your eyes is to push him to seek this approval in others. A vicious circle that he will hardly be able to get rid of. 2. Stop crying. When punished or consigned, a child expresses his emotions by crying. When you ask him to stop crying, you kind of let him know that he needs to learn to hold back his feelings and suppress his pain. 3. You disappoint me. A parent expects the best from their child. However, you should never hold them responsible for your expectations. If your child is failing, it is important to teach them that failure is the best way to be successful. Guide him and invite him to learn from his mistakes. 4. You are not enough. Not smart enough, not strong enough, not talented enough. These are all phrases that may seem harmless to you, but which can paralyze your child's identity building and impact their self-esteem. Instead, give him advice to develop his abilities and encourage him to do whatever he likes. 5. You are no longer a baby to be afraid. Fear is a natural emotion and a biological reaction to danger. Throughout his life, your child may experience fear. So no need to make him believe that this feeling should be ignored. The most important thing is to instill in him that he must take the time to understand this emotion and know how to overcome it.